And everybody places.
Reset.
Places. All right.
All right, that gave me time.
That gave you exactly. That's all I was doing, was helping you out.
Brought to you by Pepsi.
All right, folks, here we are. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good whatever time it is, wherever you are, whoever you are. Welcome once again to Nerd Week Live, the show in which we, the folks at Nerd Caliber, talk about nerd news that has happened in the past week. And boy, did a lot of nerd news happen in the past week. So we're going to be zipping through this to try to get in as much as we can, folks. That doesn't mean that we don't want you to comment in the chat. Of course we do. Rerum Trading. Yes, you are once again first. There in the YouTube chats. So I am Rodney Brown. I'm the editor-in-chief of Nerd Caliber, first-person shooter on Facebook and Instagram as a cosplay photographer, Burley_adopter on Twitter, a couple of other places doing other things. Joining me tonight, let's see, we'll get Lewis a chance to get that digested. Greg, if you would introduce yourself, please.
Hi everybody, Greg Snyder, aka Wonder Llama Cosplay, Wonder Llama Photography. Actually, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be doing a lot more cosplay than I have for a while. You're going to see me in cosplay at Boston, Fan Expo Boston, coming up next month. I'll be doing some photography there as well. I'll be shooting the red carpet with our friends here at Fan Expo, and we will also be doing our cosplay and photography shootout. So if you're going to Fan Expo Boston, be sure to check that out Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. If you are a photographer, if you're a cosplayer, it's a fantastic interactive panel. Check out the programming guide. Come check it out. It's a lot of fun. I'm not going to plug anything because we got so much on the deck tonight that I'm going to kick it right over to my good friend Lewis.
Hey everyone, it's great to be back. I know I wasn't here last week. A whole lot of things happened, a lot of good things, which maybe someday I'll talk about to the boys later. But anyways, name's Lewis Correa, co-producer at Nerd Caliber. I also will apparently be at Fan Expo on Saturday, assisting in some charity work, dressed up as a Nazgul. For those of you who haven't seen me dress up as a Nazgul, now that'll be your chance to see me in the spiritual flesh. But Rodney stole my bit about talking to the people in chat. Shame. But as you guys know, we are a live show, so if you guys have anything to talk about in the comment section, we do monitor that. So by all means, feel free to chime in. We'd love to have you guys talk back and forth with us. We like to engage. You know, you don't want to see the three wise bald men having a conversation all amongst themselves.
Wise. I like that. I don't know if I agree, but I like that.
I think you meant the three wise ass bald men.
That would be probably just as accurate, if not much, much more. So I will dispense with the promos other than, if you have a Twitch account, go to twitch.com/nerdcaliber. Please consider following us there. And if you have a Patreon account, or if you want to have a Patreon account, go to patreon.com/nerdcaliber, and please consider joining us there and being our patron. Going to jump right into it. We got a lot of big news from San Diego Comic-Con, but yesterday was a bad day for a couple of actors fairly well known in nerd entertainment. So earlier in the day, we found out that David Warner had died at the age of 80. He is, of course, the incarnation of evil on the right-hand side of your screen there. After battling cancer. And then later in the day, that very same day, we found out that Paul Sorvino, on the left image there, died at the age of 83 after what was described as just natural causes. Declining health over quite a few years is the way it was described. And they both have deep careers doing a lot of different things. David Warner, a lot of different things. But they are pretty well known for some of their nerd work. So let's start with Greg. Greg, what's your favorite Paul Sorvino role? Nerd, ideally, because I guarantee you I haven't brought up everything from, Goodfellas and so on.
Sure, that's fair. I got to go with Goodfellas. I know it's the easy choice. Gosh, I don't know. From a sort of more nerd adjacent stuff, I don't know that I've really got one per se. He was in Duckman of all things.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a great voiceover guy. He's got that great kind of Staten Island voiceover with that real deep voice. He was in The Rocketeer. He was fantastic in The Rocketeer. I guess I'll probably go with those two.
There we go. That is one I did pop. This is a character from The Rocketeer. And he did a great job, despite in The Rocketeer and Goodfellas portraying an Italian-American mobster, of not doing that very often. So good for him. Lewis, do you have a favorite from Sorvino?
From Sorvino, Roddy from Rebuild the Genetic Opera. I mean, there
we go, right there.
Yeah,
I did find that one.
He almost had me hesitating for a second, like I mixed them up or something.
Nope, I did get that one. Yeah, and apparently they liked him. The creators of Repo liked him so much that they made him God for the Devil's Carnival. So, and that plays into the fact he had an operatic trained baritone. If you've never had an opportunity to listen to him sing, find a YouTube video somewhere. It's wonderful. Mine, since everybody's picked stuff that's already been up here, I'm gonna go with Star Trek: The Next Generation. He played Worf's foster brother, the Russian brother, essentially, in the family that raised Worf back on Earth. He's only in one episode, but it's a really good episode about the limits of the Prime Directive. Very cool.
Deep
I will add one more thing, because it just occurred to me. Romeo and Juliet. Fulgencio Capulet.
Oh, he was so... There are a lot of things I like about that movie, a lot of things I don't. He was just amazing.
Yeah, he was good in pretty much anything I can think of that he was in.
Yep. Yeah. All right. David Warner. The list here is almost endless. Greg, favorite Warner nerd role?
Yeah, he's not quite in the same number of credits as like Christopher Lee, but he's not that far behind him. He's like one of those guys, if you don't know who he is, you've seen him in 30 things, even if you don't know who he is. I'm gonna take kind of maybe a little bit of an obscure choice here. Lord Downey in The Hogfather.
Oh my God, I actually did get that one. There he is, right there, folks.
Nice. Thank you, Rodney. I am a huge Terry Pratchett fan, and the handful of BBC adaptations, he's fantastic. He's maybe a step down from Charles Dance as Vetinari, but it's Charles Dance, but he's fantastic. Absolutely loved him in The Hogfather.
All right, Lewis.
I mean, come on, his catalog.
I know. It's
Jor-El during the Adventures of Lois and Clark.
Yep.
For me personally, Ra's al Ghul in the animated series Batman and Justice League.
I have that one.
He was Alpha in Men in Black, the series, which is an incredible cartoon animated series, like way beyond its scope. Like, and for me personally, because I just noticed this, he was in Fallout as one of the characters, Morpheus, which sets you on your quest.
Oh, right. You know what? I missed that. He's got so many voice acting credits in addition to so many TV and movie credits.
Yeah.
I got to go back to 1983. Oh, and the personification of evil in Time Bandits. Oh, God, what an absolutely hilarious, scenery-chewing, wonderful performance. Just so good.
Absolutely. That would have been... It was a toss-up. I had a feeling you were probably going to go with that.
Yeah.
And just... oh, my God. Time Bandits is a very polarizing movie. I know a lot of people who absolutely love it and a lot of people who just can't stand it. I love it. It's very weird. It's very, very Terry Gilliam.
It is.
And it's so funny because the evil crew it's the banality of evil. They're all so dumb.
Including the evil genius, which is what he's technically credited as.
There's very little genius in the evil genius.
They can turn beans into peas. So, before we go on, one really weird stat. David Warner was in back-to-back Star Trek movies. He was in Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. I don't remember that. I've seen it once. Nobody should have to watch that movie, well, once, or certainly a second time.
I kind of liked it.
Oh,
Go on.
Go on. As Sir John something, and I don't want to waste time looking it up, but he was Chancellor Gorkon in Star Trek VI, the very good, very excellent movie, featuring, I think it's the last one of the original cast. And
was that the Undiscovered Country?
The Undiscovered Country, yes.
Yeah.
The Undiscovered Script.
But he was also in Next Generation in arguably the best 2 episodes ever done. And he played Gul Mardek. I just looked it up.
Gul
Mared, the psychological torturer that tortured Picard by basically trying to convince him that he only saw 3 lights instead of the 4 that was behind the Cardassian there.
Yeah.
Brilliant performance. Just the coldest. Every word out of his mouth was just cold evil.
Yeah. The only Cardassian I could ever think of that would probably be on his level would be Gul Dukat. And I love Gul Dukat.
But Gul Dukat was much more a charming evil.
That's what makes him insidious.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
He could bring you onto his side just by charisma.
I agree 100%. And, it's amazing seeing those 2 different performances. Anyway, we got to move on, folks. Before we do, Luminous, there was no Godzilla announcement, but the news did come out. We're not going to get into it here, but Kurt Russell and his son, Wyatt, are going to be in the Apple series, Godzilla and the Titans. So there you go.
Just for you, Luminous.
Just for you.
He literally thought about you when he put that in our list.
In fact, I did say if we don't mention it, Luminous is going to hate us. Apparently, you didn't see it. I can't imagine how you didn't see that. All right, we're starting to get into some of the stuff that was dropped. Before we get into the big comic stuff, The House of the Dragon dropped a follow-on trailer only a week after its previous trailer, but it really added a lot of stuff. Guys, did you see it, and what did you think about this newest trailer?
I mean, Game of Thrones, man. I'm gonna be honest, and I know I'm gonna get some hate. Everybody always hates my opinions when it comes to shit like this. Nope. But I actually like Game of Thrones. And the last final season was lacking, but I liked it too, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. And I think going forward with that, I think this series is looking really good, but being out of the realm of the written books per se, I think it's either gonna fail spectacularly or be the best thing ever, because there's so much leeway there to just develop and go in different ways that you wouldn't be able to go with a series that is still being written.
Yeah.
Is it though?
Well, yeah, that's good. Is it?
Sorry.
George R.R. Martin was in the San Diego Comic-Con panel. And
he should be working.
He said, he should be writing, damn it. He said that what he's seen so far, he's very happy with how it portrays what he both had written about this time period and what he envisioned. But it was great the way he put it, what I've seen so far. Even he's hedging his bets at this point.
Go ahead, Greg.
I feel like it's one of those things. I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other. I'll watch it because it's epic fantasy and budget HBO epic fantasy. It's got swords, it's got dragons, it's got boobs. I mean, that's kind of the three for me. I don't know how much it added to my knowledge of what's going on. I pay close attention in terms of plot, characters, etc. I definitely am coming down on the what Matt Smith's camp. It's a little funky, but if that's all you can really pay for criticisms on, I think you're doing pretty well with Taylor.
Just to ask, is anybody else getting VoIP interference sounds on Greg's mic?
Yes,
Okay.
Greg. You went a little robot on us.
I think bye. Give me a second.
Okay. So yeah, I
that
like
better?
the thing that I
Yes.
like the most about it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, he said if it's better, and I said yes.
Okay. The thing that I like most about it is that it apparently takes place at the height of the power, and basically that means the number of dragons of the Targaryen dynasty. And you get to see a lot more dragon activity and dragons in this trailer. And I'm really hoping that they're going to continue to pony up the money for that throughout the course of the whole season.
Yeah.
Luminous pointed out, yes, Greg was breaking up.
Thank you.
If there's
Yeah,
no Sean Connery
thank you
dragon,
for
I don't
letting
want to
me know.
see it.
Thank
There's
you for
no
letting me
Sean
know.
Connery dragon. I don't want to see it.
Well, as far as I know, none of them talk, but that would be an interesting change from the books.
To be fair, we're saying they don't talk English.
They might speak High Valyrian.
That's true. And, Sean
yeah.
Connery barely talks English, too, so.
Yeah, I mean, he's dead.
Well,
so
not anymore.
No, yeah.
I mean, I think most people, whether I was going to say, hated the final season or when season, really kind of the best thing about the final season was just how much money they poured into the awesome CG of all of the dragons, except for the dumbass bit where, oh no, look, a giant bolt is coming from the ocean that no one saw. Right? That was dumb.
Oh man,
But-
don't even get me started on that shit.
No,
Nope.
we're not going down there. Just had to be a wise ass and
Don't
drop that one in
bring
there.
that noise in here if you don't want to talk about it.
Nope. They were amazing. They were as lifelike
Yep.
and well animated and well conceived as anything. I would go so far as to say they were better than what Peter Jackson did with Smaug in
Yeah.
The Hobbit series, which that's coming from me. So, Rodney, absolutely. I think if they lean into the dragons, as it were, even if the rest of the show is decent, it'll be cool to watch it just to see a whole lot of dragon fighting.
Yep.
Kind of like, Pacific Rim was an okay movie, but every time, you got the giant mechs and the kaiju fighting, that was great.
That's all you needed. Yeah,
That's all you needed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
People think digging too deep in plots nowadays.
Exactly.
Just
Plot
enjoy
didn't
some
need to
shit.
make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You get that and Idris Elba, acting his ass off. That's okay.
Exactly.
All right. Speaking of fantasy, or not necessarily high fantasy,
It's someone's fantasy.
someone's fantasy, the first trailer for Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves dropped. Chris Pine led cast, and what did we think, folks? Are we thinking that that Jeremy Irons can finally admit that he made a stinker, and this is going to be the redemption?
You mean a stinker as in the original Dungeons and Dragons movie?
Yeah, that movie that they made back in, I can't remember when it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was all right.
I'm thinking I want the jacket Chris Pine is wearing in that
Yeah.
shot you've got up there right now.
That's pretty awesome.
Honestly, I will point out one thing that rubbed my fucking titty the wrong way, is the fact that what of all the colors a tiefling could be, you just got to make them human colored. You couldn't pick any fucking color in the world. The one time you could get away with making a black tiefling, a pink tiefling, whatever the fuck you want. Excuse that, damn it, I said it twice. I was trying not to say it twice, but you could get away with whatever you want, and you're just like, here's a regular old Caliph from Critical Role looking tiefling.
Yep.
Meh.
Yeah. I mean, yay that race is in there, but yeah, that they could have been green, they could have been blue, they could anything.
I mean, yes, it's great that there's a tiefling, but also, what does it matter if there's a tiefling if they're humanized, if they're like super humanized? It's just you could have flexed it in a movie with such a high level of CGI and shit going on. This is where you want to skimp.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Greg?
I'm not quite sure what to think. It's so I'm definitely not as close to D&D as certainly not as Lewis, and not nearly as close as I used to be. From my perspective, it looks just like a big old CGI action adventure romp. I don't see anything that seems like it distinguishes it from much of anything else. It looks like it's got some funny bits to it. Chris Pine's probably going to bring some humor to it that some other actors might not. He's generally he's a pretty funny guy.
Yep.
So that sounds cool. But I mean, you got flyover shots that looked exactly like Gondor. That seems like that's obligatory practically at this point. So, I don't know how much they're going to lean into the different races, the different, magic users versus barbarians versus, cleric type, classes.
Michelle Rodriguez is a barbarian.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's something to be said for that. Doesn't just have to be some big Conan looking person.
And Pine's character is a bard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what is really good in the trailer is if you pay attention to the latter half of the trailer, you'll see that a grid pops up in the ground that looks exactly like a play mat in a DM game.
Yeah. I get the impression, this is going to be a big dumb fun.
Yeah.
And if that's where you can put your head space at, I'm looking forward to it. I just really wish, somebody give Chris Pine a different haircut, at some point. It is fantasy, so it doesn't matter really. You could have any kind of hair, but, come on. Give him like a bard haircut with a ponytail or something.
If it doesn't take itself seriously, if it's tongue in cheek, wink wink, nod nod, it could be big dumb fun. It looks like it's got the potential to do that.
It's got a gelatinous cube. How dumber can it be?
There's a mimic.
And a mimic.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. I think it's going to be fun. And the only thing that I got to say outside of that tiefling bullshit is, man, just let people fucking enjoy the movie. I'm talking to you specific, you D&D nerds. Let them enjoy the goddamn movie and stop gatekeeping. They wouldn't be able to turn into an owl bear. Shut up. That shit look cool.
I did see that comment of a number of places on the internet.
A lot.
And they're all fat, stinky men.
And I agree with you 100%. That looked so cool. And hey, maybe that's, rule set 6 coming up that, that's added to one of the things a bard can turn into. Yeah. I mean, not a bard, a druid can turn into.
Any of you people in the chat mention that owl bear bullshit, like you literally believe in that shit, you get no maidens. You are maidenless.
Yeah, because let's face it, if you try to be truly canonical to a turn-based, dice-based game on the big screen, that shit's boring.
Yeah, you vape farts.
It's fun when you're in a basement with a bunch of your friends. That shit doesn't work on the big screen.
Yeah, it might be fun when you're watching it. Other people doing it online, like Critical Role. But
sure, absolutely.
Frankly, the Critical Role animated series, where you actually get to see it acted out, was a lot more fun.
Yeah.
All right, now moving on to our next trailer that dropped, and I think this is what Greg was laughing and reacting to because I think I had these out of schedule.
I juxtaposed those somehow. Yeah, that's what I was laughing at.
There you go, folks. We got our first trailer and a pretty extended trailer for the upcoming series, Interview with the Vampire.
It's a long-ass interview if it's a series.
Yes. It's going
makes Frost Nixon look like just a couple of quick questions.
Oh.
Yeah. There should be a documentary.
That was a reference for the olds.
Yes, I was going to say.
Don't you remember we did the remembrance at the beginning? Sorry, go ahead, Rodney.
Sorvino actually was in Frost Nixon as the movie version of that as Kissinger. Anyway, bringing it all back around. I really like the look of this, and I think they really did a great job capturing the tone of the book, more so than the movie did. Even though they moved the time frame of when Louis met Lestat up into what looks to me like, the Gilded Age, the gay 90s, the end of the 19th century is what it seems to be to me. And I'm fine with that. I think that's cool. That allows them to put people into what look more like, traditional suits like that, as opposed to the really over-the-top foppery that they were wearing in the movie. Thoughts, guys?
Sometimes we just enjoy foppery, though.
Well, true.
Doesn't it take place in, if I recall correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it in, Louisiana or New Orleans?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just for that alone.
Yeah. The antebellum, deep South, Louisiana. It's Louisiana slaveholders. It's plantation South.
Yeah.
Taking it somewhat out of that setting and setting it later, less icky, or a lot less icky, which is great because the book doesn't really dwell too much on that. It's kind of a place and time to start with. Rodney, I got to kind of disagree with you a little bit on that. To me, this doesn't have any passing resemblance to the book beyond the fact that it's Fin-de-Sickle, Louisiana, and there's homoerotic vampires.
Isn't that all you need?
That's all you need. I wasn't saying that wasn't a comment on good, bad, or otherwise. Just a comparison. I just within the last 6 months did the audiobook of Interview with the Vampire. It's insufferable.
True.
It does not hold up. It is just the most navel-gazing, maundering, oh, woe is me, life is suffering, everything is the worst. And
Twitter.
this no, it's one corner of Twitter, the ones without the trolls. This looks very much like none of that. Louis does not seem like he's spending a lot of time bemoaning his fate. Maybe he does.
He's got that whole scene that bookends the start and the end where he's confessing to the priest. And he's whining. Now, granted, he's not whining as much as Louis did in the book because nobody would watch that.
Right. He is right. It's not the same page after page after page of woe is me, hand wringing, whining.
Yeah.
But yes, it's oh my God, why hast thou done this to me? So yes, I agree with that. It's definitely very AMC-ified. This very much reminded me of what they did with The Alienist. They took a very period-specific book and glammed it up.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And there was already a lot of sex and a lot of homoeroticism. It was a lot more understated in the book, and I think it's a lot more overstated from what the trailer seems to show us in the series. Hang on one second. Nope,
in the South, they were big horny though, so it kind of works.
Yeah. But yeah, I think moving it forward to, I don't know precisely what time, but it looked like sort of the Fin-de-Sickle, the point where it's not exactly, it's probably after the Louisiana Purchase, where it's not exactly just French influence. It's more colonial American, French. You've got Creole. You've got much more of that mix. It looks like it's a wealthy black family
Yeah.
that Louis is from, as opposed to just another wealthy French slaveholding family, which completely changes the tone and the style and the character of things. So it's certainly got the potential to be a lot more interesting.
Yep.
Agreed.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just said agreed.
Okay. I realize I haven't been saying this for anything that does have this information, but October 2nd on AMC, as Greg noted, is when we get to see this. August 21st, House of the Dragon. And I don't think there's anything else that we've talked about yet that we have a definite premiere on. Actually, the D&D movie, did they announce the premiere date? March 2023. All right, so it's time to get into more San Diego Comic-Con, specifically time to start talking about the comic book movies. All right, so from DC, we had the first trailer for Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and we also had the latest trailer for the Sandman series on Netflix. Gentlemen, weigh in on either or both of those. Start with whichever one you want.
Crash?
Shazam actually looked pretty good. The first one, I love the first one. The first one was great, and I put it up there right next to Wonder Woman as one of the best DC movies, which low bar, right? So and seeing the Marvels and the kids, they're going in that direction with having all the Marvels in there is actually really kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because they could have easily just gone with Magic Superman and been okay with that, but like splitting it amongst all the kids and stuff like that, I think that's a strong choice. I think that's definitely a strong choice.
Yeah. I really like the design for Mary Marvel, which is on your screen there in the background. The kind of Wonder Woman-ish skirt, where it's not just a pleated skirt. Very cool.
Yeah, it's definitely like a really nice touch. Really, and what was the other one? I forgot what the other one was.
The Sandman.
The Sandman. I have heard so much about the Sandman from friends who are like absolutely obsessed with Sandman.
Guilty.
And honestly, I have never read said Sandman. I fully intend to watch this series because this looks good. It got me excited in the way that American Gods got me excited when I first saw the first season. Like I was fucking horny for that shit. Like, it was great. So I'm definitely looking forward to this.
Yep.
Greg, those two trailers.
I'll echo everything you said. Just like very tongue-in-cheek. It looks like it's a big action-filled, fun comic book movie like 70s and 80s comic books were before they got the Christopher Nolan treatment and everything got dark and edgy. Right, you see things. It's not dark. It's not, the costumes are colorful.
Yep.
They're not made out of polymer plastic, super Kevlar armor stuff. They're spandex costumes, which they're silly. They're fun.
Yeah.
Zachary is the perfect character or the perfect actor for that. What do you call it? Oh, my mic going a little weird again.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why. I was. Let me know if it goes again. I don't know if I'm running out of batteries. Worst case, I'll just turn it off. It's tongue in cheek. It looks like a fun movie. It looks like a funny movie.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Sandman looks stunning. I'm a huge fan. I've read most of probably the first three, compendiums quite a few times. The audiobooks that just came out in the last year plus were sensational. Very much looking forward to this. The casting looks great. The CG looks really, really good for something that's as complex as it is. Gwen Christie as Lucifer. Talk about being horny for something, man. She can burn my soul for eternity.
I almost picked that photo, or one of those photos. I was like, no, I kind of have to show Morpheus, show Dream, because it's his series. But, God, in this particular trailer where you get to see Lucifer with the black outfit and the black wings. Yeah.
Menace never looked so sexy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I agree 100% with you guys with Shazam. Shazam was, I think, did Shazam come out before Deadpool? Maybe not. Deadpool might have been the actual first superhero comedy. Shazam was the first family available superhero comedy. And Marvel hasn't done one. I mean, there's been really funny aspects to, anything Taika Waititi's touched and the Guardians and so on. But, Marvel hasn't made a superhero comedy yet, and this is going to be DC's second. It's just looks really funny. Like I've already said, I really love the design of Mary Marvel. Sandman, same things as everybody has said. It looks amazing. Tom Stoppard his face was built to be Morpheus. Just so good. I love, the fact that Death here is a black woman, as opposed to the basically super pale, goth chick that she is in the comics. Yes, very
Hell
cool.
yeah.
And yeah, Gwendolyn Christie. God, dang. I mean, it's wonderful. There's a photo out there, I think it might have been from San Diego Comic-Con and the premiere of, because Patton Oswalt is a voiceover of one of the characters.
Yeah, he's Matthew the Raven.
Matthew the Raven. And so it's a picture of Oswalt and Gwendolyn Christie sort of like lounging on a couch, and he's sort of lounging against her. She's got like her arm on his head because he's so much shorter. And it's like, I would pay so much money to be in Patton Oswalt's shoes right there. But anyway, it looks really good. I can't wait for it. It is... Have they announced exactly when it premieres?
Let me see
August 5th. A week.
August 5th. Yep.
Hell yeah. It's about to pop off.
Yep. That's early August is going to be good. Yeah, so I really love those. Okay, now we're moving into Marvel. Before we get into the trailers, we've got to do this. This is... Kevin Feige announced everything in Phase 5. So Phase 4 ends this November when Wakanda Forever comes out. We'll be talking about that in a bit. Phase 5 starts with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And he made it official July 20-something, 5th, I think, 2024. It ends with the Thunderbolts. There will be a Thunderbolts movie. And he also made it official there'll be a series that Charlie Cox is coming back as Daredevil and Daredevil Born Again. It will be 18 episodes.
Hell yeah.
With Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin and probably the character is Maya Lopez. I can't remember the actress's name. Probably Echo, so many other characters. Blade has a date. I'll put that back up there. Blade is November 2023. So, yeah, it looks... Phase 5 is already packed. There might even be stuff that's stuck in there. Agatha, Coven of Chaos, sometime winter 2023 or 2024. And then he announced... It's shocking sort of everybody, 3 things that are Phase 6. Phase 6 will start in 2024, November of 2024, Fantastic Four movie.
Hell yeah.
And it will end starting in May 2025, then November 2025, with another 2-part Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and Avengers Secret War, or Secret Wars. So they are making Secret Wars. There's just so much to mine in there. We don't have time. Anybody want to just throw out what their favorite thing that they're looking forward to in Phase 5 or 6?
Honestly, She-Hulk. Because,
Well, that's still Phase 4 because that's coming up.
Right. I know, but hold on.
All right.
Let me get what I gotta say out before you interrupt me.
All right.
She-Hulk, because apparently there's rumors that see, now you threw me off. Damn it.
Sorry, man.
What's her name? Netflix Private Eye.
Oh, Jessica Jones.
Yes, Jessica Jones. There's rumor that Jessica Jones is going to be in She-Hulk, and if that is so, it will be something that phases into Daredevil because that's a big thing. And there's a lot of rumors about Daredevil being something that's going to bring most, if not all, the Netflix people into the fold completely in the MCU canon. So they've been sprinkling them around.
Finn Jones is coming back as Danny Rand. Oh, God.
You know, I liked Finn Jones. I think
you shut your mouth.
I think he could, not to get off on a tangent because I'm not going to do that, but I don't know about Avenger stuff because I'm kind of burnt out on a lot of like the TV show stuff at the moment. But I am kind of looking forward to seeing. I did say Daredevil, Quantumania.
Yeah.
If only because I want to see if they reconfirm the fact that Hank Pym talked about crawling up Thanos' butthole. that is a thing. It is legit. They did a skit on one of the Disney cruises where Hank Pym talks about that.
Nice.
It has to be now. I mean, the internet talked about it, so it's real.
Right. It's got to be real.
You know, they refer to those memes all the time in the movies and shows. So
Quantumania, Bill Murray is in it in some role that they haven't confirmed, but you see him in the trailer. And if you want to, while they're still up there, folks, there are people who have really terrible cell phone videos of a lot of these trailers that they haven't shown yet. And you can kind of watch them. But also, MODOK. For just like a half a second, but there's no question it's MODOK. So,
cool.
Lots of good stuff. Greg.
I don't know if I can make this face when you said MODOK.
Phase 5 and 6.
I'm kind of burned out. It's so much.
It is.
The fact that there's a 5-year timeline for all of this stuff. I mean, I realize making movies requires all of this, but it's so much. You know, even stuff that I liked at one point. I really liked Ant-Man, specifically because it was, no pun intended, but it was small, it was self-contained, the stakes were minimal. Paul Rudd got to be Paul Rudd. It was funny as hell. It was tongue-in-cheek. And then the sequel had to go bigger and much, much smaller. And the farcical physics, questionable physics behind that, I feel like that's going to be double, triple, quadruple the amount of, ridiculous pseudoscience physics involved in that.
Yeah.
Plus, Quantumania, every time I see that, I wonder if Pete Townsend's going to have some guitar solos in the middle of it. Again, that was a joke for the olds. Thank you very much, people. I'll be here all week.
I got a few grays.
I know you do. Much beyond that, I don't have a real horse in this race.
Yeah. I gotta say, Quantumania, in addition to the things I've also said, we finally get to see Cassie Lang as Stature. You know, she has her own, now it's purple, but, her own suit. So, yes, Young Avengers will happen. It's not on the Phase 5 schedule, but there are 7 unnamed date slots in that Phase 6. Which kind of leads me to Luminous said, get this pop-up out of my way, interestingly, no mentions of the X-Men yet. So, two things. There are all of those open slots in Phase 6, and it would be kind of weird for them not to have the X-Men as part of Secret Wars. Or they're waiting, that's going to be the linchpin of Phase 7. Phase 4, 5, and 6 is the multiversal saga. That's what they're calling it now. Phase 7, 8, and 9 might very well be the mutant saga. But D23 is coming up in September. Remember, they
Yes.
got to hold some stuff out for announcements then.
And Luminous. I don't want to ruin anything for you, but watch all of Miss Marvel, and you might get an answer.
That's true. But they are making the cartoon X-Men 1997. They had some announcements about all of those things as well, and
It's too much.
it's too much. I couldn't put them on the schedule.
But I tell you right now, that guitar riff, they played it for that. The intro guitar riff from the 90s, that, ooh, rock hard. Yeah.
Anyway. All right.
Wink, wink, Luminous.
2 big trailers that they did show. She-Hulk, the upcoming series, and why is it jumping back up there when I want to be down here again? And Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So, team, let's start with Lewis again. What do we think about either or both of those impressions?
I think that they touched up the CGI in She-Hulk from the first trailer that was aired versus what we got now, because she still has kind of that uncanny valley look to her, but at the same time, a lot more like facial features are showing up. She emotes a lot better. They're doing a lot of the fourth wall breaking, I've noticed in the
That was the
trailer.
reason I chose that specific image, was because it was that one moment where they both, certainly Jennifer does, but they both look right at the camera.
And she refers to the camera at least 2 different instances in the trailer.
Yeah.
So she's talking to the crowd, which is kind of cool. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. You get the first instance of what's her name from The Good Place, the tall woman. Anybody see The Good Place? Anyone?
Yeah.
Help me out here.
As Tatiana? Or Titania?
Titania.
Yeah.
She looked good, a little gaudy, but I just want to see. I won't judge her outfit because I could have been because it happened in the courtroom. So for all I know, she was just dressed up her way, her style, and maybe she'll have an outfit later on. But having Titania there means that maybe the wrecking crew will show up, maybe, and that would be really awesome. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm hoping Jessica Jones shows up because they work hand in hand together, She-Hulk and Jessica Jones. So that would be amazing. And then, what was the other thing?
The other one was Wakanda Forever.
Bro, I cried. I cried. I'm a man enough to say that I balled up. I was just like, this is deep. This cuts me in a way. I don't even know Chadwick, but it cuts me in a way that just, like, this is a man that if there is an afterlife, I hope I get to hug.
I cried when the news came out about his death, and I thought, all right, that's done. I'm out of it. Damn them for letting Angela Bassett do that soliloquy. Holy, right into my heart.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
And Namor. Bro,
Yeah.
Namor. Mezzo Namor. And for the record, for a lot of you fucking idiots, Namor's people are blue. So if you're going to sit there and be like, oh, why would he be Mezzo? Why would he be Latin? They're blue. Shut the fuck up.
Yes. Yep. I guess I put this out on Twitter, and I didn't get anybody to pick up on this. Kudos all day long to Marvel for casting Tenoch Huerta, who is descended from Aztec, and I can't remember the specific Mayan group that he is. It begins with a P, and I don't want to say it because I'll screw it up if I don't have it in front of me. Without ever revealing why they did that. And so basically they held to their mission statement about representation with nobody knowing what the representation was for. Nobody had any clue until this trailer dropped that their Atlantis is based on Mayan and Aztec and other Central American civilization, art and cultural styles.
Yeah.
I don't give Marvel a lot of credit for a lot of things like that, but good on you, Marvel.
When they get it, they get it.
We know my stance on corporations,
Yeah.
and we had this discussion the last time, but I will give them an attaboy for that one.
Yep.
Because he looks incredible. I'm so excited to see someone like myself, but not like myself because he got abs. He got as the Zoomers say, he has cum gutters. So,
And there goes our monetization.
uh, I mean, the fucking nose piece, man. I was just like, oh yes, finally, I get to see things like that. Representation. Exactly how I'm excited about that, people, is what people like me talk about in terms of representation and things like that, because we get to see ourselves in these sort of things, and we don't get to see ourselves enough in positive roles or interesting roles. We're always the thugs. We're never the people like Namor who run an empire and a kingdom. We're never in those roles. So super excited for that.
Greg, weigh in on She-Hulk and Wakanda Forever.
You guys both really nailed it. She-Hulk looks like a lot of fun. It's, obviously from everything I was referring to earlier, you can tell where I come down on epic versus tongue-in-cheek. I like the smaller stakes, the funny, the tongue-in-cheek, the self-referential. She-Hulk looks like it's going to be fun. The CG does look a little wonky in places. The valley is a bit uncanny. It looks like they may have run a little lean on the budget and made some cuts, and hopefully it's one of those where you can say, well, the acting is good, the plot is good, the characters are fun. I'll suspend the CG disbelief, so to speak, and just let it kind of fall to the side. So I'm looking forward to watching that. Wakanda Forever, man. Obviously all the stuff Lewis was just talking about for representation matters a whole hell of a lot more for Lewis, for other people who don't normally get to see themselves in roles like this than it does for me. But just being able to see the level of acting, the level of respect and honor that they had for Chadwick. Angela Bassett is Angela Bassett. She's a superlative actress. It was chilling. Her soliloquy. If that didn't give you chills and choke you up and give you a lump in your throat and a few tears in your eyes, or a whole bunch of tears in your eyes, you may need to take a couple Xanax, or a whole lot of Xanax. I was crying over that. The Afrofuturism, they leaned into it in a whole new way, even more so than they did with Black Panther. Just from what you can see in the trailers, it looks spectacular. I'm really looking forward to that aspect as much as anything. From what you can see, it looks like they're leaning into this sort of colonialism aspects of it. You guys have mineral deposits, etc., that we want, and we'll take it at gunpoint if we need to. It's still as trenchant a plot point in the real world today as it was 50 or 100 or 150 years ago throughout all of Africa and Asia, et cetera, et cetera. The thought that I came away from among everything else was it would be fascinating to see if this was a movie where a Marvel movie, a superhero movie, someone finally came away with a Best Actor award, a Best Actor for Angela Bassett.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Because she's always got to be in a conversation for whatever she does. She's that level of performer in anything. And if I'm coming away from a 3-minute trailer where you don't actually see her in a whole lot of scenes, you hear her quite a bit. Just hearing her on a computer, I watched it on my computer, thinking that, holy shit.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how powerful it's going to be watching her through an entire hour, 45 to 2+ hour movie. I'd love to see it. It'd be great. Vindication's not really the right word. It would be a great, crowning achievement would be a better way to put that.
Yeah. An acknowledgement that there are some absolutely outstanding performances in a lot of these movies.
Yep.
But, all right, we're just about done, but one real quick thing. Who's in the Black Panther suit at the end?
Shuri, I think.
It's me.
I gotta tell you, your butt's looking good there, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's Shuri, as much as I really don't want it to be Letitia Wright.
Yeah. Well, she's the Black Panther that fights against mandates, whatever.
Oh,
just knocking them out today.
Damn.
Vaccines. These are your vaccines.
Oh, man.
The only thing that doesn't enter Wakanda besides colonialists is COVID, apparently.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Shuri. I kind of like the completely ridiculous theory that it is Eric Killmonger, but I'm pretty sure Michael B. Jordan's calves are bigger than that. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's only so many people that could be Black Panther.
Right.
So just kind of narrows the field, really. And you know what, man? As long as she just stops talking on the internet, all right.
Yeah. I mean, you can say the same thing about Evangeline Lilly from Ant-Man and Quantumania.
Yeah, her too.
Yep.
You're attractive. You're smart. You got a great thing going. Shut up. Don't go the fucking what's her name, Gina Carano way.
Ugh.
Just don't.
That's
talk.
that's a whole other level.
Yeah.
Just don't talk.
Yeah.
Don't talk. If I became famous, I'd be the most non-talking motherfucker you'd ever hear.
I do not believe you. You cannot shut up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the case.
You put a fat paycheck in front of me, I will shut up. I will pass my shit to a social media management team, and I'll never say a word.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be in Facebook
All right,
groups.
Rodney,
smack.
let's start a Kickstarter and see how far we can take that threat.
There we go. All right, folks, that's it. That is our show. Thank you very much for joining us in the chat. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for our team here, of course, for showing up. Let's go the other way around. Greg, give us a goodbye.
Night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you again next week. If you are in the Boston area or coming in, be sure to catch us at Fan Expo Boston in, what weekend is that? The second weekend in August?
3 weekends, yeah.
Third weekend in
3
August?
weekends.
And check out the red carpet. Yours truly will be there photographing the cosplay red carpet. It's always a lot of fun. And Rodney and myself will be running the cosplay and photography shootout again, as we usually do there on Sunday afternoon. Photographers, cosplayers come in, fun interactive panel, and you got a great chance of winning some free passes for Fan Expo 2023.
Exactly. Number of teams we're limiting it to?
That many.
10. So
Nice. 5 twice.
5 twice. Be
By
there
5.
early. Lewis, if you would, give us a goodbye.
Yeah, I had a fantastic time tonight. We had a lot of great topics. I kind of wish that we could have gone into some more, but it's that, like, I don't want to justify that the boys said I talk too much. So,
Nope.
but no, thanks again, everyone. For all you people who joined us tonight, those people who watch the VODs later on, we really appreciate everything that you bring to the table, Nerd Caliber in general. We love that attention. We love that support. And we really appreciate you. And we don't say that enough. So I'm just going to add it into the VOD here that, without you, there wouldn't be us. So by all means, support our Patreon.
By all means. Absolutely. All right, folks, that's it. We'll see you next week. Have a great week, a great weekend. Everybody, please do stay safe. Try to stay out of the heat, which has broken in some places, but still hasn't in many others. And we will see you at an upcoming con or an upcoming show.